The plot of
Sly 2, Band of Thieves,
Unscripted. Spoilers, go.
So the game begins, and Sly and the gang are all traveling around in Cairo, Egypt, and then they're going inside of a museum, and Sly's talking to Bentley, who's a lizard wizard inside of a blizzard, and then he goes upstairs, and then he meets up with Bentley, who's actually in the field for the very first time, and they plan on stealing the clockwork parts. And then Bentley, he deactivates all the doors and the lasers, and then Sly compliments him, and then he goes into the next wing, which has a whole bunch of Fiendish 5 exhibits, and then Sly goes off into the next building, and he's in like this weird room, and then he thinks that Murray should show up anytime now. Anytime now. And then Murray crashes in, and then with the belly flop, and oh no wait, no! Not Murray. The Murray. So the Murray lifts up the gate and then lets Sly in, and then goes into the final wing where Clockwork lies. And then Sly, he goes in, but he doesn't see the clockwork parts anywhere. And turns out that Carmelita and her new associate, Constable Neela, comes in, and then they're like, "We knew that you would come back to the scene of the crime to eat a cheeseburger." And then Sly is like, "I didn't steal anything. At least not yet." And then Constable Neela is all like, this could have been a clogging heist with fish and chips. Pip pip. Cheerio. I don't know how British people work. And Sly tries to get away, and I don't know if I mentioned the clogging. And then Sly gets away, and he goes into the van, and then Carmelita starts out shouting at him. Alright, now it's time for some backstory. So you see, Sly was dumped at an orphanage, and he met his two best friends, Bentley and Murray. Bentley is the brains, Murray is the brawn. We've been through this. And they've been Sly's closest friends for a whole bunch of times. Now we get into good stuff. You see, 2 years ago, Sly thought that he killed Clockwork, but it turns out that the immortal owl ain't exactly, mortal. So, apparently, people just gathered bits and pieces of Clockwork inside of a volcano, and then put him inside a museum in Cairo. But then it turns out that the Claw Gang now has them, and he's got to make sure that none of them will be able to get Clockwork back in one piece again. So now they gotta find those pieces! Alright, so now they found the first member of the Claw Gang, and his name is Dimitri. And you see, when Dimitri was a young lad, he always dreamed about becoming an artist. But he was rejected by so many people in Europe land for his terrible paintings. Like Hitler. But then he grew mad with power and started up a nightclub in France. Like Hitler. And then, now he has possession of the clockwork tail feathers. Oh wait, you weren't supposed to... Anyway, so Sly, he goes in, he checks out with his reconnaissance, and now he finds out that he has the tail feathers, and he's using them to counterfeit money. And so, they do that whole weird lasers thing, and then, Bentley blows up his nightclub, and Murray, he breaks the alarm system, and Sly, he meets up with Neela, and Neela's all like, I don't really... Carmelita! She needs to get off her high horse, you know what I'm saying? And Sly completely agrees, and then he chases her, and he goes inside of the club, and stops the fans. He stops the fans. Then they gotta pull off the operation to take off Mr. Dimitri. Take down your statue sign. Yeah. And they go down and they counter Dimitri, and he's like, "Show your brain and let me shine on you." But since Sly is lost in translation, he doesn't understand. And he says that his suit sucks. And that is worthy of killing him. And Sly beats up Dimitri, and he gets away with the tail feathers, and Dimitri gets caught by Carmelita, and they make their escape to the next place for the next part. Stay tuned for part 2, coming out on a date. Yeah.